The Calhoun County Public Health Department is confirming its first case of the Delta variant of a local resident. Officials are conducting contact tracing and a disease investigation. They are urging people to continue to take precautions against COVID-19, including getting vaccinated if you haven't already, especially as new variants of the virus become more prevalent. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention could soon recommend everyone wear masks in public, no matter their vaccination status. Now, Dr. Anthony Fauci said the changes are under active consideration as the rate of the Delta variant increases, but adds that the CDC guidance is still that fully vaccinated people don't need to wear masks indoors. Fauci is asking that local governments in areas with surging cases make their own recommendations on masks. Last week, cases rose 171% overall, and deaths climbed 19% from the week prior. Travel restrictions to the United States won't be lifted anytime soon. The White House has decided to keep those restrictions in place, meaning most visitors from much of Europe, China, India, Brazil, and other nations are not allowed into the country. The travel industry has been putting pressure on the Biden administration to lift those international travel restrictions. Now, a White House official says while the administration understands the economic concerns, the science on COVID variants doesn't support a safe rollback of restrictions, at least right now. Before school gets back in session, camps are keeping kids busy this summer, and places around the country have had varying success. Now, last week, a camp in central Iowa sent home 200 campers after a counselor tested positive. In New York, 31 campers got sick after an outbreak at a sleepover camp there. And here in Michigan, Kid Venture, the city camp in Battle Creek, shut down briefly last week after one counselor case. Now, we went out to Van Buren Youth Camp to talk to their director. They haven't had a single case, but their staff is fully vaccinated and all of their kids are required to wear a mask.
I take it really personally. I feel like every kid that's here is my responsibility. And so it's my responsibility to make sure they go home safe. I think that if kids are doing this well here, if they have to wear a mask when they go back to school, when they're in the classroom, they're going to be fine with it.
Well, just under 36% of kids 12 to 15 have been vaccinated. 47% of kids ages 16 and 17 have gotten at least one dose so far. The United States combat mission in Iraq is coming to an end. President Biden made that announcement yesterday during a meeting with the country's prime minister. Maurice Oberle spoke with a West Michigan family whose son died during that conflict and tells us their thoughts on this decision.
Right there.
After nearly 2 decades, President Joe Biden announced on Monday an end to the U.S. combat mission in Iraq, saying by 2022, the main focus for troops will be on assisting the country's forces through training and intelligence sharing, not fighting on their behalf.
We are not going to be by the end of the year in a combat mission.
The U.S. and Iraq first agreed on the transition in April, but declined to specify when it would happen.
They help Iraq. Together we fight and defeat ISIS.
The fight against ISIS is critical for the stability of the region, and our counterterrorism cooperation will continue even as we shift to this new phase we're going to be talking about.
It's unknown if Biden plans to bring home any of the roughly 2,500 soldiers still overseas.
It gets softer as time goes on, but special things, holidays, birthdays, that anniversary of his death, and now news of this withdrawal, it hurts.
John Burry's son, Army Specialist Eric Burry, never made it back. The Wyoming native died at just 21 years old in 2005 near Baghdad after an IED detonated by his vehicle.
He joined because he remembered 9/11, and he wanted to make a difference. He wanted to do something that would be helpful for others.
John says the move conflicts him, explaining while he believes the U.S. has been in the area too long and the war took too many lives, he wants peace and freedom for its people, which he fears may go away without the military's presence. He's hoping for the best.
I want everyone to be home, but I just hope that, like I said, it's not in vain. That the Iraqi people and the Afghanis will stand up and continue to fight for that freedom that our loved ones gave their all for.
Maurice Oberle, Fox 17 News.
President Biden says the United States will continue to support bolstering Iraq's democracy and focus on the country's election taking place this October. Time now is 5:08, still ahead this morning.
I think we're learning right now that you're not immune from it if you're vaccinated. You still have to take precautions. You still have to be careful.
Well, despite the rising number of fully vaccinated Americans, COVID cases are spiking nationwide once again. What health officials are saying about the Delta variant and those breakthrough cases in people who've had the vaccine.